Welcome back to part 2. Here is Lars, an innocent music lover listening to his favorite Tron soundtrack. Notice how huge and clean that sounds. But a storm is coming. And Lars, currently almost in a trance of joy, is about to experience a new kind of sound.
Oops. That's the end stops, my friend.
That was maybe taking it to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll turn down the volume a little bit.
The only problem is actually the lack of warning, really. It's so clean that you don't realize that you're actually reaching the limit. It's kind of violent, but rest assured, if they hit the end stops, it doesn't mean that you're destroying your speakers or they just died or anything like that.
We have also then manufactured a AMT Tweeter. It is made by Dali for us. And it is a CNC machine, fully symmetrical, cost no object driver, which has much more output than a conventional dome tweeter.
Using an air motion transformer tweeter also has its challenges. This type of tweeter actually plays equally loud on both sides of the tweeter, so special care had to be taken to kill the sound on the backside in a design like this. To ensure a smooth transition between the woofer and tweeter, it requires special control, as the woofer becomes more directional as it plays higher frequencies, while the tweeter spreads sound in all directions. Without really careful alignment, this difference can cause discontinuities in the sound when you're off axis or when sound reflects in the room. To solve this, the team created a specialized waveguide for the tweeter. This waveguide shapes the tweeter sound to match the woofer at the crossover point to create a seamless transition. Additionally, they added a very special diffuser to address the tweeter's natural tendency to become directional at the highest frequencies. That allows for even distribution way up in frequency. The design was refined using advanced computer simulations, running countless iterations to optimize the shape. The result is the diffuser that we got here. The design goal has clearly been to ensure even distribution of frequencies, allowing for more movement in the listening position, a thing we might confirm in the subjective listening tests. In my experience, speakers using big waveguides can sometimes be kind of sensitive to listening distance and height. For optimal performance, it might be a good idea to consider the optional stands. All this is just a few examples of the cutting-edge thinking combined with a meticulous design that makes the Clarity 6.2 special at the price point. The quality of the assembly and the materials and the feel of the speaker is just top-notch. And it's offered in 3 colors, this wood finish here, as well as black or white. There's no options for a front fabric available. Now let's talk about what it's really all about, the sound and the experience. With something this bold, we must give them a full subjective Silverback Listening team test. But with the limited time I had on my hands, we managed to pack together 3 sessions total, including a ABCD comparison with other compact speakers. For the critical listening, we pulled the Clarities out in the treated room at about 7 to 8 feet listening distance, and we experimented with on-axis and off-axis placements, and no room correction was used in this position. Very fittingly, we used the Lyngdorf TDAI 3400 as a simple streaming preamp with Roon as the source and the mighty Lyngdorf MXA 8400 Eigentakt amplifier for amplification. Basically, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. As you heard from the previous soundbites, the promise of very, very low distortion in the speaker itself is definitely true. And they really keep their composure all the way to reaching the actual limit, which is remarkable. But how are they experienced as music communicators? Tonality, the imaging, what are the levels of details, and how do they portray some of our test favorites? Well, get those headphones back on and let's revisit the listening sessions. Let's see what these guys are made of.
If you don't make me spell it out for you, all of the feelings that I got for you.
Again, very precise, the voice.
Can't be explained, but I can try for you. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So it's so good, so fucking real. That's just the way you make me feel.
That really sounds great. Huge soundstage, totally. The room is full. It's really good.
Okay, so soundstage big,
Yeah.
vocal presentation, super precise.
Yeah, and those what do you call it? Whispers on the side channels. It really creates a lot of room, and Janelle Monáe is right there in the middle. The dynamics are great, well defined, 3D-like effect. Extremely well defined and very pleasant to listen to.
Når jeg lukker øjnene, jeg kan slet ikke forestille mig, at det der lyd kan komme ud af de to små kasser.
Just a little loving
Fyldig, bred lyd og dybde.
early in the morning.
En vild dybde.
Beats a cup of coffee.
Der er en bredde i musikken, det er helt sindssygt med sådan nogle små højtalere. Det må jeg indrømme. På det, altså de to første numre der kan jeg godt høre, at det kræver en lidt større højtaler med noget mere power i, for at kan spille dem ordentligt, men den havde rimelig styr på det alligevel. Jeg kan godt lide det smæld, der er på trommen dernede.
Ja.
Hold kæft, det er godt.
Crickets are chirping, the water is high. There's a song, cotton breeze on the line, hanging dry. The windows wide open, African trees bent over backwards from a hurricane breeze.
Ikke en formildende omstændigheder her.
Nej. Hvordan må stemmer bliver portrætteret i noget, der lyder helt fantastisk godt?
At the ceiling, maybe they're there, or maybe it's nothing at all. As she draws lipstick smears on her. And Thursday's oh so sad. The eagle flies on Friday. It was a Saturday. Then one day she left me. She took everything.
Oh. Ja, her må jeg bøje mig i støvet. Hold kæft, det lyder godt.
Sees a call for census. The boss wanna know what's going on. So Joseph and Mary hit the road.
Lyden, den kommer rigtig langt ud til siden her, synes jeg. Og sikkert dog en sindssygt fyldig lyd. Det var... Altså, hele rummet var jo fyldt dernede. Hvor det? Det lød, som det skulle. Det lyder bare helt som det skal. Perfekt.
Ja,
Enormt stort lydbillede.
Jeg har lyst til at bare blive hængende, ikke?
Jo,
Det var... hold da op.
ja. Fantastisk lydbillede. Det fyldte det hele.
Ja.
Vildt.
Hvad synes du om stemmen?
Jeg sad og tænkte, at den, men det er igen den plejer måske at være en lille smule varmere, eller lidt mere fyldig i det, men ikke noget, der gjorde noget. Det kan være, hun lyder garanteret sådan der, som hun skal. Og det er på de mere farvede, der de store dage, at man får den lidt mere fede stemme der, eller mere dybe, fyldige. Men det, jeg synes, det lød fint. De er altså skide gode til de der kvindestemmer.
Ja, det er også exceptionelt flot nummer, det der. Ja. Der er lidt mandestemmer her i den dybe ende.
Thanks for the dance. I'm sorry you're tired. The evening hardly begun. En skib fra havn, det en blankåpen fjord.
Og kæft, den bass, den står godt, mand.
So the sound of the birds taking off scared you last night. Though they were right to leave, right to use their wings to fly.
Det knaller bare samtidig, hvor det skal. Og det lyder jo bare skide godt. Altså, når jeg har lukket øjnene, så troede jeg, at det var på kæmpe højtaler, der stod der, ikke, Aline? Fordi at, de havde den fede lyd, som...
Altså på grund af soundstagingen?
Ja. Fordi det er jo simpelthen, de går ud ved siden af, og de går helt ned til gulvet, helt op til loftet, og så går dybden også der, bassen og trommerne, de står simpelthen helt nede i træpanelerne dernede, ikke? Jeg synes jo, at det lød fantastisk, at der var så stort, ligesom om der var en scene foran en. Ja. Med dybde og bredde og det hele. Jeg synes, det var lækkert.
Funny that way you can get used to the tears and the pain. What a child will believe you never loved me. You can tell me love. I got away from you. I never thought I
Hard to understand that this is actually Madonna that was singing there. Sounds really nice, really smooth. I think that's a genius of the clarity there. You actually hear that there's some experience behind this speaker. It comes across as being polite, yes, but also very precise. I think it's presenting a fantastic soundstage in this room compared to a lot of other speakers I've been listening to. And it just does do so well over many genres. I really feel that it's an extremely good compromise between something a little bit analytical for listening to ensembles, classical music, opera, stuff like that, where you want that really fine detail popping a little more at you, And at the same time, they're really forgiving when we give them a pop track, for instance. They're a little dry sounding, but very precise, beautifully balanced speaker. I like it a lot. And this interesting thing is that when I heard them the very first time, just in this room, I found them to be a little bit boring, to be honest. So it's definitely a speaker that grows on you over time. I mean, its talents are long-lasting. You don't get any fatigue, and you just want to hear all kinds of music on these. Radiant Acoustics is a welcome new brand on the Danish hi-fi scene, moving the boundaries for both technology and high-end pricing by utilizing some of the theoretically best technologies out there. It's clearly a team of ambitious, curious engineers and music lovers on a journey that will, without a doubt, produce more bold speakers in the future. The sound is so very Lyngdorf. You get a very neutral and correct and precise and powerful dynamic presentation that doesn't try to add or really subtract anything from your music, but simply reproduces what is there with a slight gentle roll-off in the top end, making it work well in real-life untreated rooms. It's a formula that stands the test of time always, but might seem a little flat at your first listen when compared with more exciting sounding speakers. Be mindful of this when hearing them and give them an extended listen. It's just like a fine wine. It needs to settle up in the glass, really, before you get the full out of it. So who are they for? Well, with these guys, you can find out yourself simply by purchasing a pair with a free worldwide shipping and everything and 30-day money-back guarantee. And I also think they give out a 10-year warranty on them. The standalone performance is very adequate for smaller rooms where you will get clean dynamics delivered like never before with such a compact speaker. That's really the party piece of the Clarity 6.2. For bigger rooms, I wonder how much can be gained from adding a couple of subwoofers, relieving the Clarity 6.2 from delivering that deepest of bass. But that, my friends, is the subject of another video. Stand by for the pros, the cons, and the review score. Remember to check out all the other groovy stuff on the channel, like and subscribe, and come on, get over to Patreon and have a look at what we're doing over there. See you there.
Papa, give me some ice cream.
Take the edge off this summer heat. I don't care what your flavor you bring, or just to bring me an ice cream.
If you like experimences, check out the experimences playlist. Boom, yes sir. For more speaker reviews, check the speakers reviews playlist. Schmuck. And the awesome dream speaker reviews. Blam. And may I also suggest that you check out the Hi-Fi News and Quick Reviews episodes that contains all kinds of advice, ideas, including music suggestions, rants and interviews, and hi-fi business news, also collected in a playlist here. Slam.
Instead of Sister Sadie walking with a lady holding hand. This heat is crazy.